We'll continue today's roundtable with Brian Crowley and Antonio Fins, a familiar face in these parts for many, many years, Palm Beach Post political editor. We talked about Amendment 4. Let's talk first about Amendment 3, adult use recreational marijuana. Brian, what are you hearing out there?
Well, it's, you know, one of the things that's interesting about Amendment 3 is that, and they've done some of this with Amendment 4, but there have been at least 6 state agencies that have helped to sponsor commercials. The Department of Education has started a commercial warning that young ones shouldn't be using marijuana. Now, there's nothing in the constitutional amendment that would allow teenagers to use marijuana, but it's sort of a backdoor way that Governor DeSantis is using to help defeat that amendment. And I've never seen that before. I mean, 6 state agencies are being used to challenge
same thing on Amendment 4 too, with the Florida Department of Health has also weighed in.
And what are the facts getting lost in the smoke? Sorry, I couldn't resist the pun on Amendment 3. Because to me, as I watch ads, you've got law enforcement, it'll be regulated, it'll be great. Then you've got the corporate shill sitting in the lawn chair. Hey, no homegrown growers anymore. It'll either be safer, or any of you thought you'd be part of the boom in recreational marijuana. Forget it, it'll be all corporate interest. It's good, it's bad, it'll be horrible for people. Crime will go up. No, it won't. It'll be better regulated. What are people to make of all this, Antonio?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with another Cheech and Chong analogy here, but you took mine. Look, I liken this back, if you go back about almost 4 decades, with when we had the lottery and the casino gambling on the ballot. And I think, you know, in this state, what I hear all the time is the medical marijuana was always very popular. That's how I got to 60%. When you get to recreational, that is a different task. And I kind of see the same hesitancy in people that have been talking to you about this amendment that, yeah, medical marijuana is good, but full-blown recreational, we're not so clear about it. The same way that, yeah, the lottery was okay, the casino gambling, we're worried about the mafia and, you know, the Godfather showing up. And I'm here. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people.
DUI issues on our highways.
DUI, that's what I'm hearing from people.
And by the way, when I say law enforcement, the ones they have handpicked for their ads, not to suggest all law enforcement, to be sure, does not have issues one way or the other on this, but they have handpicked people, the grandma type, who's going to be good for us, and so on and so forth. Let's run through some of the others. Amendment 1, establishing school board elections as partisan. They're nonpartisan now, though you'd hardly know it these days, Antonio.
Yeah, look, this is one where the genie may be out of the bottle already. I mean, I think people see so much of local government, particularly the school boards. They see it through such a partisan lens that this could pass, and quite frankly, or it cannot pass, and still it'll be the same result. That these are going to be partisan races going forward, whether the R&Ds are on the ballot.
You kind of know where they are right now anyway.
Oh, sure.
It's like impossible not to know anymore on both sides.
And even in nonpartisan elections, now that it's not going to be affected by this amendment, I was just editing a story that on one of the races on one of the local agencies here, and one of the candidates said that his claim was that he wanted to root out the Marxist on this commission. So there you go.
Yeah. Amendment 2, establishing a state constitutional right to hunt and fish to preserve, as it says, quote, preserve forever fishing and hunting as a public right.
Well, I will gently say it sounds like an awfully silly amendment to me, because we already under law are allowed to hunt and fish in the state. So opponents think that this is a method of making it more extreme. You know,
You've never liked, you've argued for years, we lard the Constitution with way too many things that should be under the legislative purview.
You know, somehow the U.S. Constitution manages to get by with 20-some odd amendments. We need 132 in any given moment.
One question, though. So what happened? We had a big fight over Jonathan Dickinson State Park recently. So what happens? It passes, let's say, gets 60% of the vote, and let's say a group says, wait, I want to hunt there. You can't deny me my constitutional right, even though there was a hue and cry on both sides of the aisle not to allow golf and other things at Jonathan Dickinson. So there's going to be some real-world examples where this...
Yes, and I would argue...
Am I wrong?
I would argue if Amendments 3 and 4 on the marijuana and the abortion, if they were not on the ballot, this would be the most important amendment on the ballot, hands down. Because this is a state that has worked so hard, from Everglades restoration to all sorts of water quality issues, to get the environment right, to balance development and environment so that you have natural areas. And this one could very well end up undermining it, because you could make the argument, and this is the folks I've been talking to on the opposition side, you could make the argument that with a very conservative Supreme Court, this becomes the wedge to go after very unpopular rulings by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, even though it mentions that the amendment does not impact the authority of it, but you could challenge their decisions and their rulings in the courts. And we have already had, for the last decade, a huge fight over bear hunts. And not so much here, but if you go to the Panhandle, the red snapper issue, that is equivalent to the abortion issue in the rest of the state. It is hot and heavy.
Amendment 5, homestead exemption inflation adjustment.
Well, one of the interesting things about that, because on the surface it sounds really good. I get to have a higher homestead exemption, I pay less in taxes. But what impact does that have on your local governments and on the county? Less taxes means less money for local governments, and especially smaller local governments in the county. So are they going to have to raise other taxes? Are they going to have to create other ways of bringing in some money? So there may be one of these things where on the surface it feels good, but the effect might not be what we expect.
This is a perfect example of something that is a really good idea, but the Constitution is really not the best place for it.
Ergo, your argument all the time.
In 1992, we put the Save Our Homes, the homestead exemption, in the Constitution, and we spent how many years fighting other constitutional battles because of the disequilibrium that it has created in the housing market. And so, great idea.
Feels good.
Great idea, but it should be state law where it can be changed more easily and adjusted rather than the Constitution.
That legislators should take up and legislate and then have to live with the consequences, good or bad, of those decisions, as you have often argued. Amendment 6, repeal of public campaign financing.
You know, I'm sure that this would be popular just because anything that mentions campaign financing, it smacks of socialism and whatnot. But I think the issue here is we complain about the amount of money in political races, and then we complain that there's too much, that there's not enough. So there's not enough. We don't want campaign financing. It's one of those that, again, and then quite frankly, again, another one. This is a great idea to be debating, but
legislatively.
Legislatively and in the public square. I mean, here we are in an election where you have one of the most consequential presidential races ever. This really important issue is off the radar because so much focus is going elsewhere.
You both will have closing thoughts on the other side of the break. We've got limited time here. 20 seconds for you, just a headline issue you want people to pay attention to. We can come back to in the next few weeks. Then you, Brian.
I'm going to go back to the amendment on hunting and fishing. Look, this is a state that is driven by fishing and hunting. It's a very popular thing. Just it's one of these, be careful what you ask for because you also embrace.
Brian?
Well, I think we should keep in mind that as of this past Friday, 834,000 voters had already voted by mail. A lot of decisions have already been made and have been voted on. So all these commercials and everything, they're intended for the people who haven't voted yet. But as we start early, and some states start earlier than we do, voting is underway. Decisions are being made, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
And worth noting, Republicans for the last 3 years pushed for the architecture that is, and by their words, our successful early voting, including absentee voting in Florida. Worth noting, given the contentiousness of that issue in some states. Back with your closing thoughts, both of you, in a moment.